What's up, guys? Oh, sound is up again. Amateurs here. There we go. What's up, guys? Welcome to the third episode of the Infinity Flux Letters page.
Are we
I'm
already
Matt.
the third?
I think it's the third, right? Or is it the fourth?
I almost want to say it was the fourth.
Fourth. Oh, this is the fourth. I put the wrong title on there.
You put the wrong title. Are we supposed to do the third one again?
Yeah, golly, what an amateur. Well, anyway, guys, welcome to the fourth episode of the Infinity Flex Letters page. I'm Matt.
I'm Andy.
And this is our live show where we answer your burning questions or talk about your burning topics.
If you have that much burning, see a doctor.
Right. Yeah, what's up, guys? What is up, PDH Bricks? Sorry for the wrong title. I don't know if I can change that while I'm... Oh, look at that. Maybe I can.
There we go.
That's
how the pros do it.
That's right. We're doing it
Click
live.
and clack.
Tyler, how you doing? So, yeah, this is our live show where we are live streaming this. We are live on YouTube. We are live on my TikTok channel up there. And we're just going to talk about some stuff. We actually found some kind of recent news type things that we thought we would talk about. Oh my gosh, Absolute Batman. I'm ready. You guys, I cannot wait for everybody to read Absolute Batman. It is so good. Is it one of the best books of the year, you think, so far?
It definitely could be. It definitely has that feeling of like potential.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you read it and it feels like a new door is opening up. Kind of like how Ultimate Spider-Man #1 was. Where you're like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
So it's like, is it the best singular book? I don't know. But is it like the most exciting and the most like, you know, the beginning of something?
Yeah.
It could be that.
Yeah, for sure. So I cannot wait. We're only 3 weeks away, I think. 2 weeks from now is the beginning of DC's All-In initiative. There is that All-In special, which everybody needs to get. That's 2 weeks from today. There's Batman 153 coming out that day and a couple others in the All-In era. Now you're making it hurt. Yeah, it's going to be worth the wait, though. It is so good. And it's like...
And it hurts for us, too, because we want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And there's certain key things that are like, I really want to hear what people think about this.
Yeah, for sure.
But we got to keep it zipped.
There is one thing near the end. Obviously, we're not going to say what it is, but I was like, oh, we're doing that.
Is it the stupid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, we're doing that. Yeah. So that's going to be super cool.
That's like the thing you're referring to is the most like, oh, okay, this is a big game changer.
Yeah. Oh, this is definitely different. Yeah, for sure. So in the meantime, while we wait for that, we are going to talk about some cool Marvel stuff that was announced yesterday. The first one being Bluey. We got a lot of Bluey fans in here. Somebody on TikTok said that they're a Bluey family.
Yeah.
I guess
I'm a big Bluey fan, and I don't have kids, so I'm one of those people.
You're one of those. That's all right. So yesterday, I believe this was yesterday, or maybe the day before, but there is Marvel unveiled their first look at the Ultimate titles for December. Now, this was outside of the regular solicitations, but we
haven't got those yet.
Right. We haven't got those yet for December, but we just wanted to go over these because there's some really cool stuff going on. So the first thing that's coming in December is this Ultimate Universe 1 year in one shot. And this is kind of like a midway point because if you think about, or almost midway point, because if you think that Ultimate Spider-Man started in January of this year, I believe these are coming out in December. So that's almost a year right there. And this is kind of like, where is the Ultimate Universe a year after it started? And, this is going to kind of get everything set up for the second year of the Ultimate Universe. But the coolest thing about this, which we don't know a lot about yet, is this guy right here. You don't see my cursor, I don't think. But Nick
You're
Fury.
circling Nick Fury.
I'm circling Nick Fury's face. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see that there. What's interesting is this looks like, so this is, Earth 6160. So the new Ultimate Universe, but it kind of looks like old school Nick Fury. And if you notice on his uniform, he's got a hand there instead of or maybe it's a kid's drawing of a Thanksgiving turkey, how you put the thing. And it says underneath, it says hand. So it looks like he's not necessarily the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. Maybe he's the head of hand. And if you guys remember from, I closed it down. Hold on one second. If you guys remember from the, let's see, let me get back here. From the Free Comic Book Day book this year, there was a mention of the hand But it wasn't the hand that we know necessarily. It was these guys right here. That Cap and those guys were fighting. Cap and Iron Lad were fighting, and it says, in Iron Lad says hand agents, but they look like these like digital blue guys, kind of. So I don't really know what's going on with all of this, but this was a really cool fight scene. I just pulled the one page out of there, but yeah, these are hand agents, I guess, and these look like guys that maybe this Nick Fury would
be leading.
Would be leading. So more to come on all of that stuff. But we've also got, how do I get out of this? I'm stuck. We'll just go back. What's up, y'all? What's up, Mr. Fisticuffs? How you doing, man? So, in addition to all this, so yeah, more to come. I just thought it was cool to see old school Nick Fury again.
It's just going to get really confusing when people refer to Ultimate Nick Fury, and we have multiple Ultimate Nick Furies and regular versions. And
is there a new Ultimate Universe coming? Well, so this is weird. That's what you're talking about. This is a new one shot that takes place in the new Ultimate Universe. It's been around since January. And this is kind of going to give us a peek into what's coming for the next year. Of course, this universe seems to be operating in real time too, and we know there's a big countdown to the Dome opening. So I forget how many months left there are. But so that's by Brian Hill and Stefano Cassell. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's Black Panther. This is from Dennis Camp and Jonas Scharf. It's going to be writing that one. There's also some interesting things with Ultimate Black Panther. We know that, the Ultimate stuff is really, really good. Some of it I like better than others, but for the most part, it's all really good. And this Ultimate Black Panther, we have this Sorcerer Supreme, I guess.
Which they've been kind of teasing for the last few issues.
Yeah.
And we don't have a straight answer. Is Doctor Strange like Stephen Strange, Sorcerer Supreme, or is he a separate character and then the Sorcerer Supreme being a separate character as well?
Yeah, so lots of cool stuff here. There was mention. I thought the character we saw in the last issue of Ultimate Black Panther maybe was Stephen Strange, but not necessarily the Sorcerer Supreme. And I think this character is. And there's theories that maybe this is Ultimate Universe's Agatha Harkness. Maybe it's Clea, or maybe it's Scarlet Witch. Wanda Maximoff. We don't know. We have no idea who that is. But I feel like she's going to be somebody we know.
Yeah.
Just this Ultimate Universe's version. So more to come with that. They also dropped on us. I mean, come on. That's, coming out December. It doesn't get any better than Christmas Spider-Man.
I love his plush Kingpin.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Yeah, the plush Kingpin. Looks like he's got a gift down here for Mary Jane. So, I actually didn't read the synopsis for this. I wish I could just click out of that. Season's greetings from the Parker family, but why is Peter acting so strangely during the most wonderful time of the year? I'll zoom in on there again. Also, what's got Gwen so concerned? Don't miss the thrilling conclusion of the second arc and the first year of Ultimate Spider-Man. So yeah, more Ultimate Spider-Man goodness to come. I'm really excited for that.
I have feelings about why he may start acting different.
Yes.
It's not a spoiler, but I don't want to put theories in people's minds, but there's something going on that I feel like they teased something that may be messing with him.
Yeah, for sure. So maybe that'll pop up here. And then the last one is Ultimate X-Men, and we've got Viper. Not necessarily the introduction of Viper.
She was in the issue this week.
Yeah, she was in this week's issue. So more stuff to come. This doesn't look like it has as many like big new.
Yeah.
Ooh, what is that? Like the other ones do. Still, and Ultimate X-Men for me isn't as super duper awesome as the other Ultimate books, but I know there's a lot of fans out there of it, and I'm glad you guys have something that you're really excited about. Of course, we do have, I guess, Psylocke now, or Quanon, or Canon, as she's called in this. So, yeah, and then we've got Ultimates number 7.
Which you see there on the cover, Human Torch, which was from the Free Comic Book Day book where they went and rescued Human Torch.
Yep.
Which is really cool. So, it's like we're finally coming back around to the Free Comic Book Day book timeline-wise.
Right. Yeah, let me slide this over here. So yeah, so this was from the Free Comic Book Day book as well, with Ultimate or not well, I guess Ultimate Human Torch, and Captain America saying, "Welcome back, Jim." So we know this is Jim Hammond. So there's no confusion that this might be Johnny Storm. But yeah, so we were talking about this yesterday. I didn't really piece together that maybe the Free Comic Book Day book was later, was like on down the road a little bit. I thought it was just like, oh, this is the beginning of the Ultimates. And yeah, so
but it looks like maybe this is coming back around to that point.
Yeah. So we just wanted to show some cool Ultimate stuff that Marvel dropped on us yesterday, because there's some really exciting things coming. It shows us that yes, this is a wildly different universe. And of course that we also had our Ultimate Hawkeye was on the cover as well. Let me bring that back real quick so we can look at it. Yeah, so we've got Ultimate Hawkeye. We've got She-Hulk as well.
Oh, and she's got a suit now.
Oh, she does. I didn't realize that. Yeah. So yeah, lots of cool stuff coming with the Ultimate stuff. We just wanted to.
Yeah, and what's everybody most excited about for the Ultimate Universe? Kind of now that we're entering into year two of all of this, what are your hopes and dreams for this?
Yeah, we know that we're going to get a couple new to the Ultimate Universe, not new characters, but we know we're going to see the Ultimate version of a couple other characters with that Ultimate one-shot in December. Who else would you guys like to see in this new Ultimate Universe? I would like to see Daredevil. Yeah, I think an Ultimate Daredevil. And there's a possibility, we did see Matt Murdock. We know that Bullseye is a thing, so maybe Daredevil's out there somewhere. I'm not too sure. James has a good question about, are you guys going to go see the third Venom movie? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've got the AMC pass. You can't keep me away from the theater. Especially after that second trailer, the one that just dropped. That when I saw the first one, I was like, okay, but what's like the story? Yeah. It's just like, is this just a movie about Venom Horse? But after the second trailer, it's like, okay, I see what they're doing. It's they're taking some big swings that I think, if I had my way, they would have built up to more. But considering this seems to be the last Venom movie for now, go ahead, take your big swing. I'd rather you do that than go out on a whimper. So let's see how it is. But yeah.
Yeah, and I broke my cardinal rule of I try not to watch more than one trailer for a movie, especially like a big Marvel movie or something. But with this one, with Venom, the new movie, after I had the first trailer, I needed a little more. I wasn't super duper jazzed. And then I watched the second one. I was like, it seems more the same. But then the third one, I was like, I just need something. I need something that's going to get its hooks in me. So I was like, I'm going to go ahead and watch this because, it's whatever. And then, Null and all that stuff. So, I'm definitely hyped about it now.
Especially with you just finishing reading King in Black.
I just finished King in Black. I just finished reading the entire Venom Omnibus, Venom by Donny Cates Omnibus. Just finished all that. Almost caught up with the current Venom run. So, now, we'll see how they translate it to movie. Not up with the new Ultimate Universe is the Maker still around. He made me uninterested. He is trapped in that was a question up on TikTok up there. Yeah, so the Maker is trapped in I guess he's in the dome.
Yeah.
Which is going to open in like 12, 14 months, something like that. In the book. So we will see more of him for sure. So the other thing we wanted to show, we wanted to chat with you guys about is this right here, the new champions. Marvel announced this. So you guys remember several months ago, Marvel had all these variant covers of like kid sidekick versions of a bunch of different heroes, and at the time it was just a cover.
It kind of came out of Spider-Boy. Yeah. It was like, oh, Spider-Man had a secret sidekick. What would other characters' secret sidekicks be like? And there was some speculation like, what are these like first appearance of characters?
Yeah.
I don't know if Marvel knew 100% at that time what the plans were with those characters.
So, this says that as soon as I saw that this is the writer, Steve, is it Steve Fox? Steve Fox said, as soon as I saw the new champions variants, my mind started racing, dreaming up possible origins and powers and codenames for these imagined sidekicks. So we know this is going to start out with Liberty, Hellrune, Moon Squire instead of Moon Knight.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and Cadet Marvel instead of Captain Marvel. That makes a pretty good amount of sense too. But yeah, I mean, just wondering, what you guys thought. Like, who else would you guys like to see get a teen sidekick? Spider-Man's got one, and we've got all these guys here too. But like maybe like Daredevil. Daredevil kind of had a sidekick during Charles Soule's run with a Blind Spot.
Yeah,
it wasn't like really a teen sidekick or anything, but yeah, we just kind of thought this was interesting because I remember when we were doing those comics from the future videos and we were showing those variant covers, we kept having to say, these aren't actual characters.
Yeah.
This is just a cover. And now it looks like they are going to be actual characters. So how did they get their powers and how do they come
what does
about?
everyone think about this?
Yeah.
It's interesting because Marvel does, we get characters that premiere and then disappear or whatever.
Right.
Do you think these are going to have a lasting, I'm guessing some will stay, some will kind of fizzle out.
Yeah.
Just depending on their popularity.
Yeah. And up on TikTok, Miss Marvel would be hilarious to have a sidekick because she's already a teen sidekick. So it'd be funny for her to get her own like little Miss Marvel, but even though she's young herself. But so I don't know, change the world, new champions, which, I made me think instantly of the champions run from Mark Waid and Humberto Ramos with Kamala Khan, Miles, and all those guys. And I thought that was really cool. So if this is anything like that, then this could be interesting. But yeah, there's a lot more characters than this. It's just, I guess they're starting here.
Felt like almost every book had one of these. But it'll be interesting because there's been characters that are similar to this.
Oh, here we go.
Like X-23 was kind of this.
Yeah, so here's I'm just going to try to zoom in on that. I don't think I can. But yeah, there's some different covers. It looks like we've mostly got the same teams here, or the same characters. I thought there was one cover with even more.
I think there is if you keep going.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
So yeah, is that
Spider-Boy?
Is that J2 or whatever, the Juggernaut kid? Because he's had a Marvel Infinity comic recently.
Yeah, I think they call him Kid Juggernaut, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So more to come. This doesn't come out until when was this? January.
Yep.
But we just thought, hey, this is something cool that we thought we would chat with you guys about. And there was one other thing about this was from today, where I
haven't seen this.
Yeah, Daredevil Unleash Hell Red Band, which is going to feature the Elektra Daredevil, and it's going to be another, Marvel's doing another Red Band book, and I'm assuming maybe this is one that's only going to be Red Band.
Yeah,
not too sure.
Seems like their new thing, like with Werewolf by Night, Blade, and then I guess it's the next one.
Yep. So new Elektra Daredevil book. It sounds like it's
a creative team.
Erica Schultz and Valentina Pinti.
Okay.
Yeah. So this comes out in January as well. So yeah, just and it sounds like maybe Elektra and Daredevil are going to be a little bit estranged at some point between now and when this comes out. But yeah, so Mr. Fisticuffs, which hero has the best rogues gallery in y'all's opinion? Jeff Johns treated as villain in his Flash run. I think probably. I mean, is it Batman or Spider-Man? Those are the two go-tos.
Yeah, I mean, I really do love the rogues from Flash because they do have a different spin. I would probably give it to Batman. I feel like there's more maybe prominent ones.
Yeah. It's got to be one of those two. But that's a good question. I mean, there's so many, and then there's a lot of heroes that need that maybe their rogues gallery could use a little zhuzhing up a little bit.
I think Wonder Woman, she has a lot of rogues, and I think that Tom King's done a good job of bringing Cheetah and Giganta and all of those into it. But I think she could also use with a kind of a like, hey, let's like buff out these characters a little bit.
Daredevil could use maybe a little bit fuller of a rogues gallery. So many Marvel
characters share, like, Kingpin is Spider-Man and Daredevil and kind of everybody's, and they spread out a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. But it's a good, Jeff Johns's, Flash's rogues gallery, especially how Jeff Johns handled them. That's definitely up near the top for sure.
Like criminals, like blue collar criminals,
Yeah.
working a day job, but then they would also just go back and hang out later. And I just always like their relationships.
And I like that they kind of have a code, like, yeah, we're bad guys and we steal stuff, but we're not going to kill anybody.
Yeah.
We're not that bad. I mean, well, you know, and I don't know that they've always, you know, subscribed to that theory, but it's kind of nice to see, oh, these are bad guys, and Flash is gonna. It just makes everything feel a little bit more lighthearted, you know, a little bit more fun, that kind of thing. And then, Jordan Smith. So that's another thing. The two X-Men teams fighting for Professor X is at a crossover too. So that is this right here. This new. I need to share it. This new Raid on Graymalkin crossover. Basically, it's going to be X-Men versus Uncanny X-Men. And it's going to be a 4-part crossover, which, you asked if this is a crossover too.
So it sounds like it's going to be between those two books.
Yeah, I believe so. So X-Men number 8 is part 1. Then we've got Uncanny X-Men number 7, part 2, which that's a really cool cover. And then we've got X-Men number 9, which is a part 3. Ooh, Psylocke versus Wolverine. And then Uncanny X-Men 8 is part 4. And look at that. Like, that looks really cool. So yeah, and I kind of like these. Not everything has to be an event, and even if we're not talking events, not everything has to be like spun into its own series. This takes me back to the days, you know, to the 90s and the 80s when, we did tell these stories, but we told them within the pages of all the books that it touches instead of breaking it out into its own series. So yeah, this is going to be a cool 4-part story going back and forth between X-Men and Uncanny X-Men. I wish we would get more. Because crossovers are great, but they don't need to be a whole separate thing. Just do it. Just do it here.
I don't know why either of them want Professor X. He's not necessarily the most desired character yet, but they have been kind of building to that where the teams are very splintered because they are kind of rudderless. They don't really know how they want the future of mutants to look.
Yeah.
And maybe they think that Xavier can unite them.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that. I don't know. Like, how does Xavier come back from everything?
I don't know. That's what we said about Cyclops, but he did.
That's what we said about Beast. And
yeah.
They just
they just killed off the bad version of it.
Yeah, they just factory reset him back to the 90s, I guess, or the 80s. And so Jordan, to answer your question, we didn't talk about it, but it's also newsworthy because and this is kind of our first crossover between the teams in this new From the Ashes era. And these are my two favorite books. We'll probably maybe throw Phoenix in there too, but she's not part of this. But but there is the Outliers, the kids from, there's the Calico, she on her horse. I don't see some of there's the Dream Dust or Death Dream. Yeah, Death Dream, I think is what it was. And so this is all coming in. When did it say this was coming?
December. Begins in December.
December. Okay. Yeah. So December. That's really cool stuff. Cyclops was right. Yeah. I mean, Cyclops has been through it, and Cyclops is my third favorite X-Man. And seeing him kind of go through everything he's gone through over the years has been a little bit tough. James, I agree. We are in a great era of comics. We talk about this all the time. There's so much coming out.
Yeah.
And I guess it might be easy to think that we're not in a great era of comics, but we look so closely at everything that's coming out every week and also everything that's on FOC every week. Like, we see firsthand, golly, there is so many books.
Yeah.
Like, when we're putting our books together to read every Monday, we're like, there's 30 books to read, and we can't fit in that many. We have to make some hard choices and things like that.
Yeah, if you're not seeing comics coming out, you're not looking hard enough.
Yeah.
Because we're having to make decisions every week what to cover, or we see the way we look through things. Just about every book coming out, and it's incredible.
Yeah. X Factor and X Force. Jordan likes X Factor and X Force. But it's all been good. Yeah, it's all been really good. I just couldn't quite get into the Krakoan era, but I've really been enjoying these new books. Some more than others. I do have a ranking of them, but DC Patrol, my pull list is massive. That's a great time to be a comic fan. Gosh, there's so much stuff. Marvel's putting out so much stuff right now. DC is bringing everything back to how it all felt so classic. So many good indies. I love horror books. There's so many of those. We're getting a lot of sci-fi books. The one thing I would like to see is like maybe more slice of life books like Grommets.
Yeah,
I read Grommets #4 yesterday, and I'd love to have a few more like that because
I agree. There's an audience for that.
Yeah.
That I think, when I'm looking for recommendations, maybe for people who aren't into as much superhero stuff, or maybe they're not into superhero and they're not really into horror, it gets a little bit harder.
Yeah.
And I think more of that would be great.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a question on TikTok. What's the worst full-blown event in comics? Personally, like some of Judgment, but none of Gang War. And I guess it depends on what you consider an event too, because like Gang War, I didn't really consider that an event.
No,
that was more like a
storyline,
like a crossover within the Spider-Man stuff. But I don't know. I mean, there's maybe I'm not sure. Like I don't know. Secret Wars 2 maybe, or
I didn't read Secret Wars 2. And some people love them, some people hate them. I wasn't a huge fan of like Fear Itself.
Yeah.
Back when that came out, or I'd probably say the one that, and I don't even know, there were some good books in it, but Convergence was really rough. But that's where we got John Kent.
Yeah.
The Superman book in that was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he was wearing the black suit
and
the beard, and that was awesome. But that was a rocky series.
Smack that like button. Yes, DC Patrol. Thank you very much. James, that's a great question. Which absolute are you guys most excited for? Well,
it's hard now that we've read Batman, so it's like, and I don't know what they've done well is we know the books and we know the general idea, but after reading Ultimate Batman, it's like, what
Absolute
kind of
Batman.
Absolute Batman?
Careful.
And people know what it means.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what surprises are in store for those as well, for Superman and Wonder Woman.
Right.
And Flash and Green Lantern and all the ones coming.
There was a little bit, I think maybe Kelly Thompson did an interview recently about Absolute Wonder Woman, and she made it sound really cool. I just saw it on Twitter, so I don't have it in front of me, but she said something like, Wonder Woman has a big sword, and that's awesome, but that's not her only weapon, and she doesn't necessarily use the sword all the time. But it did say something, too, about like Wonder Woman maybe using magic.
Okay.
Which sounds a little bit cool. And she said, I'm going to spoil one thing. She said, Wonder Woman pulls that big sword out of a magic pouch on her belt. So I guess maybe she doesn't even carry it on her back all the time. But yeah, we don't know. We haven't read that yet. But I think Absolute Batman was awesome. I think of the other two that we know are coming, I think I'm maybe a little bit more excited for Ultimate Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I just love the design and the story that they're putting out there, but all of them, if I can answer that way. And
I'm looking for the ones we know almost nothing about, like the Green Lantern and Flash and all of those, because those can be also completely just new ground.
Yeah, we have no idea about that. And then Jordan, how good is Ultimate? I did it too.
Okay.
Is Absolute Batman?
No, so don't get on my back.
Don't read DC, but it sounds kind of cool. It is excellent. It is so good. And if you want to try it out, you can. You don't have to have read anything else, because this is a whole new universe that doesn't have any continuity at all. Mm-hmm. You could just pick up Absolute Batman #1 on October 9th without reading anything, and you could get a full new story. I mean, you know who Batman is. You know his origin story, you know that. But you don't even really have to know that to know to read this. It's so good. It is so good.
And I don't know if we've made it clear that there's the one shot coming out, the DC All-In special.
Right.
That does have appearances by the three characters.
Just briefly.
And it's not like you have to have read that to understand the rest.
Yeah.
But it's nice if you want to get like all the details about how this absolute universe, this world was formed, read that. But if you're just like, I just want to see Batman, then you can read the Absolute Batman and not worry about kind of the foundation of it.
Yeah, I mean, it might come back later because this world is different. It's going to be a lot darker, less hopeful, that kind of thing. And the All-In special that comes out on the 2nd, helps you understand why that is,
Mhm.
but it's not a. It doesn't like Absolute Batman #1 doesn't refer to any of that stuff whatsoever.
Right.
All it is like, oh, this is a new world, different Batman. That's
And this
cool.
is a world that, when it was created running. So
Yeah.
it's not like, oh, you see it, from primordial all the way. It's like, no, to Batman in his book, this is the way things have always been,
Right.
and all that. So.
Yeah. So it's really, really good. I can't wait for everybody to read it. DC Patrol Grommets is worth it. Grab it when it's collected. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Grommets is fantastic. So I've been reading every issue, but I've not been buying them. I'm waiting for that trade because that's going to be a really cool story. I think it's a limited series. I wish it would just go forever.
Yeah.
And we can
watch these kids grow up.
I was gonna say, like, if it went forever in real time, that would be really cool. But yeah, it's so good. Question on TikTok. So Absolute Universe is still connected to lore of another universe, like the new Ultimates.
I would say
kind of.
I would almost say the regular DC universe is connected to the Absolute Universe more than the Absolute Universe is connected. It's like the DC universe now is looking through a window and they can, this is not true, but they can see the Absolute Universe, but they can't go the other way. So to the Absolute Universe, they don't know anything else exists.
Yeah, they don't know about the multiverse or nothing like that whatsoever.
But we know it's because a lot of it's because of Darkseid, and of course the regular DC universe knows about Darkseid and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say you could read the Absolute Universe stuff and just pretend like it has zero ties to the other.
Yeah.
Like that would be fine, and it wouldn't ever penalize you for doing that.
Yeah, if you never read any DC book except for Absolute Batman, at least for the foreseeable future, you'd be totally fine. It's not gonna and the Absolute books, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and then Flash and Green Lantern, they're not going to intersect with each other either for a long time. So if you only want Absolute Batman, you were perfectly fine to do that without having to worry about, but he's going to cross over with Superman. Nope, that's not going to happen. He's not going to cross over with the main DC universe, at least for a year or more.
It's
going to be a long time before that happens. Not going to lie, that's a relief. Yeah, for sure. And that's what this all-in initiative is it's a way of having your cake and eating it too. Because Scott Snyder said that, with the new 52, we read, everything was undone and everything started from scratch. And that kind of turned off the longtime fans.
Yeah.
And then we got rid of the new 52 and went back to all the legacy stuff. And that, that wasn't so great for new readers. Now we're getting both.
Yeah.
We're getting both at the same time, a brand new universe and the regular universe. And you just pick and choose whichever ones you want to read, or both, because that's what I'm going to do, because it's all fantastic.
Yeah. And all of this will be a lot more clear once you read Absolute Batman #1, or if you choose to read the all-in special, you'll understand how they're connected and not connected.
Yeah.
And that will, you'll see and you'll understand at that point kind of what you're getting into either way.
Yeah. What's up, Scott? Just read Mark Spear's Monsters and was blown away. Is that the Keen Spot book?
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't read that one, but there's some great coverage for that one. Yeah, so many great titles this week. Absolutely. I think for our show on Monday, in our part 2 on Tuesday, I think I read more books than I've read in a while for that show, just because there's so much stuff. And I looked ahead to what's coming out next week, and there's a whole bunch of stuff there too, just all kinds of stuff. Well, guys, we are going to call it right here. We try to keep these shows about 30 minutes or so. We just like hanging out with you guys and just talking about really anything. We started talking about, all the Marvel stuff, and you just, love how it sort of just evolves into just random questions, because it's kind of what you do at the comic book store, right? You just talk about whatever pops up, and that's
somebody will walk in the door and be like, "Did you read this?"
Yeah.
And then the conversation shifts to, "Oh yeah, what do you think about that?"
Yeah.
Consider this your digital comic book store. Bunch of people just standing around the counter talking.
Right. Yeah, that's the absolute goal of this. So our next show, so that we do this every 2 weeks. So our next show is going to be on what I'm kind of thinking as DC All-In Day. That's on October 2nd. So it'll be 2 weeks from today. And we're going to talk about the DC stuff that came out. If you guys got the All-In special, we can talk about it. If you have any questions about anything, leave them in the comments of this video, or all the videos between now and the next episode on October 2nd. We will compile all those questions together. We'll talk about them. Or if there's any topics you want us to talk about, we'll do that. If there's any news, comic book news, or any kind of pop culture news that comes out, Agatha All Along premieres later tonight. We can talk about that.
Yeah. Also, we've got New York Comic Con coming up, and they start announcing what some of the panels were. And Marvel has a Doctor Doom panel, which I mean, there's going to be some interesting stuff now. This like latter part of the year, this is when a lot of other announcements are made. So it's going to be really good going forward.
So as that stuff comes out, if it doesn't line up with one of these shows, we're still going to compile it together. We can talk about that, answer your questions. Well, like I said, we'll just talk about whatever pops up while we are live. But we're going to head out for now. Thank you guys for being with us, and we'll see you on this show in 2 weeks on October 2nd. We will see you again on our YouTube channel on Friday. For our Comics from the Future video. We talk about all the awesome stuff coming out not coming out. All the awesome stuff on FOC this coming weekend. But you guys have a good one, and I'm going to try to make this smooth. We'll see you guys later. Bye.